Hi, dreamers. I've been so busy with my video game project and my new entertainment client, so this is going to be a quick one. But I wanted to give you an update on some new overall strategic thoughts I've been having. Will I actually be changing my $100,000 a year dividend PADI goal? I'm also going to barely edit this one, so yeah, uh, let's see how this goes. So, guys, my observations go a little something like this. As you know, I've been trading options for about 6 months now. And what I've noticed is that the bulk of my premiums or my profits have come from puts. And I'm talking something like 80 to 90%. So, for example, last month I got $6,400 from total options, but about $5,400 was from puts alone, which is an interesting observation. And the other thing I started experiencing that I have not been reporting to you is how much interest I've been making off of just holding cash in reserves in order to do those puts. So I've easily made about $500 in the last couple of months just on interest alone. So my thoughts go a little something like this. Let's say I have $100,000, and you know my average yield is about 6%. So with dividends over the course of a year, I would get about $6,000. Now, of course, that's not the full story. Because of course with stocks, you're going to have price appreciation and you're going to have dividend increases, in addition to the compounding effect. But let's just play this out for a second. So let's assume I take that same $100,000 and I get about 5% just on interest alone. That is a guaranteed amount, similar to the $6,000 I'd get with dividends. But then, let's say I'm getting about $35,000 of my premiums off of the back of that cash reserve in order to do put options. In that case, I'm getting about a 35% yield off of that $100,000 for a total of $35,000. And so what if off of that $100,000, I could actually be generating more like $40,000 in cash flow? So of course you've been seeing me experiment and learn and get better and better at this over the last 6 months. And this isn't something that I take lightly because my dividend strategy is something that I've been doing for almost 20 years. But it just makes me think about the following. $100,000 off of my $1.5 million portfolio is less than 7%. So I'm not putting a lot at risk in terms of my total portfolio. And what it looks like I'm gaining with incredible consistency and actually even taking pretty conservative steps is a significant increase. And so what I've been considering over the last couple of months as I've been watching this happen and just getting better at the experience of this is maybe I put my $100,000 dividend goal on a bit of a pause and roll back to $90,000 in annual dividend income while I take advantage of the macro environment that we're in right now. A couple of things that I'm specifically talking about is the 5 to 6% interest rate, and there's some very clear down cycles that make it very attractive for puts, one of which is the semiconductor industry, which I've covered in another video recently, which limits extreme downside on the puts. So I guess I'm announcing a pretty big change in my strategy here as I put a pause on my quest for that $100,000 and just try to take advantage of this macro environment and essentially double dip with this $100,000. The only question I have to myself is, should I increase the amount that I'm using as collateral for these puts? And that may affect how I drip my dividends, as I may decide to take some of that cash to continue to pad my collateral amount. Now, of course, I realize we're looking at simple calculations here, and it's not taking into effect the risk differences. And I just want to be clear to you guys that the approach that I have on top with dividends is a lot less risky and more guaranteed than the approach that I have down below. Because of course, as you're using puts and calls, you're putting that money at risk in various ways. But if you've watched my other options videos, you know that I'm taking a pretty conservative approach So I guess that's my big announcement is that I'm taking a little bit of an off-road in order to get to the destination that I'm hoping for, which of course is a base foundation of that $100,000 coming from dividends, but hoping that I'm using this new strategy to accelerate that path a lot faster. What do you guys think of this? And are you executing a similar strategy? I would love to know in the comments. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this update. As you know, I'm just a DIY investor sharing my journey as real time as I can. And if you want a richer real time experience with me, you can always follow me on Instagram or Twitter, or even Threads. Or become part of my cult and send me a picture of you with something from my Etsy shop. And of course, your story so I can feature you. And of course, if you're doing your own research using Seeking Alpha, feel free to find the link below to subscribe if you want, no pressure. And as always, I encourage you to do your own research, then implement and learn by putting it into practice. And as a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, so keep in mind these videos are for entertainment and inspiration only. I'll see you on the flip side.